Hey there, Cowboys Nation. Welcome to Dallas Cowboys Fan, your ultimate destination for all things America's team. Whether you bleed blue and silver or are just starting to catch Cowboys fever, this is the place. If you are a die-hard fan, please make sure to subscribe for more latest news and updates of your favorite team. The Dallas Cowboys are one of the most storied franchises in NFL history, and every offseason brings a new wave of speculation, excitement, and hope for the future. But this time, things feel different. The Cowboys have made a bold move by hiring Brian Schottenheimer as their new head coach. And with this change comes a fresh perspective, a new direction, and a lot of questions about what the 2025 offseason will look like. So let's dive deep into what could be the IDEAAE 2025 offseason plan for the Dallas Cowboys under Schottenheimer's leadership. First, let's talk about the hiring of Brian Schottenheimer. This is a move that has sparked a lot of debate among fans and analysts alike. Schottenheimer comes from a strong coaching pedigree. His father, Marty Schottenheimer, was a legendary NFL coach, and Brian has had his fair share of success in the league as an offensive coordinator. He's known for his ability to develop quarterbacks and create dynamic offensive schemes. But the big question is, can he translate that success into a head coaching role? The Cowboys are betting big on him, and this offseason will be crucial in setting the tone for his tenure. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty of what the Cowboys' ideal offseason should look like. The first order of business is addressing the quarterback situation. Dak Prescott has been the face of the franchise for years, but his contract is up, and there's been a lot of speculation about whether the Cowboys will re-sign him or move in a different direction. In this ideal scenario, the Cowboys would lock Dak down with a team-friendly deal that allows them to build around him. Prescott has shown he can be a top-tier quarterback when healthy, and with Schottenheimer's offensive mind, the two could form a formidable partnership. But it's not just about Dak. The Cowboys need to ensure they have a solid backup plan in place. Whether that's drafting a young quarterback in the mid to late rounds or bringing in a veteran backup, having depth at the position is crucial. Remember, the Cowboys season was derailed a few years ago when Prescott went down with an injury, and they don't want to be caught in that situation again. Next up, the offensive line. The Cowboys have long prided themselves on having one of the best offensive lines in the league, but injuries and age have started to take their toll. Tyron Smith and Zach Martin are still playing at a high level, but they're not getting any younger. The ideal offseason plan would involve investing in the offensive line through both the draft and free agency. Finding a young, talented tackle to eventually replace Smith should be a priority, and adding depth at guard and center will ensure the line remains a strength for years to come. Of course, we can't talk about the Cowboys' offense without mentioning the weapons at Dak's disposal. CeeDee Lamb has emerged as a true number one receiver, and Michael Gallup is a solid number two. But the Cowboys could use another dynamic playmaker, whether that's a speedy slot receiver or a versatile tight end. In this ideal offseason, the Cowboys would target a playmaker in free agency or the draft to add another dimension to their offense. Imagine pairing CeeDee Lamb with a rookie who can stretch the field or a tight end who can create mismatches in the red zone. That's the kind of firepower that could take this offense to the next level. Now, let's shift our focus to the defense. The Cowboys' defense made significant strides last season, but there's still room for improvement. The first priority should be re-signing key players who are set to hit free agency. Micah Parsons is the heart and soul of this defense, and while he's not a free agent yet, the Cowboys should be thinking about extending his contract sooner rather than later. Trayvon Diggs is another player who needs to be locked up long-term. His ball-hawking skills have made him one of the best cornerbacks in the league, and the Cowboys can't afford to let him walk. In terms of adding new talent, the Cowboys should focus on bolstering their pass rush and adding depth to their secondary. Micah Parsons is a game wrecker, but he can't do it all by himself. Adding another edge rusher to complement Parsons would make this defense even more dangerous. And in the secondary, while Diggs is a star, the Cowboys could use another reliable cornerback to pair with him. Safety is another area that could use an upgrade, especially if they lose any of their current starters in free agency. Special teams is often overlooked, but it can be the difference between winning and losing close games. The Cowboys have had their ups and downs in this area, and the ideal off-season plan would involve bringing in a reliable kicker and improving their return game. Whether that's through the draft or free agency, finding a player who can make an impact on special teams should be a priority. Now, let's talk about the draft. The Cowboys have a history of finding gems in the draft, and this year should be no different. With Schottenheimer at the helm, the focus should be on adding players who fit his vision for the team. That means targeting versatile offensive players who can thrive in his system, as well as defensive players who can make an immediate impact. The Cowboys have a solid core of young talent, and adding a few more pieces through the draft could set them up for long-term success. Free agency is another area where the Cowboys could make some noise. While they may not have the cap space to go after the biggest names on the market, there are always bargains to be found. The key is finding players who can contribute right away without breaking the bank. Whether it's a veteran linebacker, a reliable slot receiver, or a depth piece on the offensive line, the Cowboys should be active in free agency to fill out their roster. One of the most intriguing aspects of this offseason is how Schottenheimer will put his stamp on the team. As a first-time head coach, he'll have the opportunity to shape the roster in his image. That could mean bringing in players he's familiar with from his previous stops, or it could mean taking a chance on players who fit his system. Either way, this offseason will be a chance for Schottenheimer to show what kind of coach he is and what kind of team he wants to build. Of course, no offseason plan is complete without considering the competition. The NFC East is always a tough division, and the Cowboys will have their work cut out for them. The Eagles, Giants, and Commanders are all looking to improve, and the Cowboys can't afford to stand still. That's why this offseason is so important. The moves they make now will determine whether they can reclaim their spot atop the division and make a deep playoff run. In conclusion, the Dallas Cowboys are at a crossroads. With a new head coach in Brian Schottenheimer and a roster that has the potential to be great, this offseason is a chance to set the stage for a new era of Cowboys football. By addressing key areas like the quarterback position, the offensive line, and the defense, the Cowboys can position themselves as legitimate contenders in 2025 and beyond. It won't be easy, but with the right moves, the Cowboys could be on the verge of something special. So, buckle up. Cowboys fans, this offseason is going to be one to remember.